I've been seeing this shape. Shaving cream. Pillows. I know what this is. This means something. This is important.
Enter the stars. And it means something. The stump. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. A 1977 film. And in it is depicted the night sky at the equator, in which the stars in the center rise up vertically, and looking south, the stars spin clockwise, and looking north, the stars spin counterclockwise. And it only does this at the equator. And in the film, they go to the Devil's Tower to find the answers, which looks like the stump, a stump of the hyaloid canal within the earth. And here we begin to find the answers to the truth, as they set up the lie with many, many pieces of the truth. But they can never hide from the truth. They thought we were all too stupid and too dumb to realize all of the subliminal imagery that they were placing within us. In these films, in these movies, in these television commercials. And much of it may be manifesting on a spiritual level, as they have sold out to the serpent dollar. But here it is in plain sight. And of course, this is the owl eye starspin of the night sky against the hyaloid canal stump, right in the wall, in the background, hiding in plain sight, all along. We also know that when a child's umbilical cord is cut, it is called a stump. And we've shown you all of the analogies of the inside of the eye, comparing it to the child in the womb, upside down. And now as I superimpose the star spin within the cavity of the eye, underneath the dome, you can see how the firmament contains all of the star spin within its walls. The fixed firmament, and I believe what we could be looking at within the firmament is a reflection of the stars spinning. The two swords of the cherubim spinning, guarding the way to the garden being behind the star spin, which is the ganglion within the walls of the eye, which is the bipolar cells and the rods and cones behind the walls of the eye, which seems to resemble the figs, grapes, and pomegranates. And of course, he asks for chicken wire in the film to build his model, the chicken wire that looks like the rods and cones lining the eye wall and the lens, the bottom of the eye. When you cross-section them, he asks for chicken wire, the cube matrix. We see the UN trucks in the film that seem to show the inner eye convex lens at the bottom of the inner eye, just as we discovered. Here we see Egypt, Giza, the three pyramids, and they hold up these books, and there's three men in this scene that look like Giza. The pyramids, you guys, were built so that Satan could show his dominion over the earth, representing the image coming in through the lens of the eye. and it forms a pyramid. The same pyramid we see in this scene. And when we watch the dialogue as he's built this Devil's Tower, it talks about a mailman. Why a mailman? Because the Sphinx is called the headdress, like an address, which is why the post offices in Dallas and New York are shaped like a sphinx in relation to the three pyramids in their skyline. The headdress. We saw Dallas in that scene, and here we see New York City with its sphinx-shaped post office and its three pyramids. And I believe we solved the reason why these two 1930s buildings, the post offices, were shaped like sphinxes. The Sphinx headdress or address. And now with eyes to see and ears to hear, we understand that it is the Hebrew year 5777. And when this film came out on November 16th, 1977, November 16th has 45 days left in the year. Its reflective mirror date is February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And there is an Egyptian Valentine's Day as well on 11/4. But when we look at these two reflective synchronicities, we understand that in Ghostbusters 2, it said the world would end on February 14th, 2016. And the reflective date of that date is 11/16, which is 9/11 upside down and backwards. This date has not come to pass yet in the year 5777. Now this goes on because in the Testament of Solomon it talks about falling stars, and that it is because a demon is actually explaining to Solomon that the reason why there are falling stars is because the demons tried to listen in on what was going on in heaven, but had no place to hold on to. And they would stay up as long as they could, and they would fall from the sky as falling stars. We know that Lucifer fell like lightning from heaven. We know that fallen angels fall from the sky. And so they depict these falling stars in this scene as being the aliens. And if that doesn't trouble you as hiding in plain sight, then people need to wake up, because it's simply unbelievable. They hide the truth in plain sight. They show it to you to mock God, because nobody gets it. Nobody understands it. Only God gets it, and it's a few chosen select. There was a little boy in the film named Barry who was abducted, and he is now 44 years old. Could Barry represent Barry Soetoro, the 44th president, the first incarnated pharaoh? In the opening of the film, they find World War II planes that have been missing, and all three of the serial numbers start with the number 44. There's also 44 in the coordinates of the Devil's Tower, and 44 on the license plate of the car they used to get to the Devil's Tower. And here we see the convex lens and hyaloid stump juxtaposed against one another in the final images of the film. But what's disturbing is that we see the iris, we see all the components of the eye in this final spaceship. You see, the 44s go very deep. The 44 is also the first day of Lupercalia, as the 44th day of the year. And Lupercalia is linked in to Egyptian Valentine's Day as well.
What type of blood do you have?
I don't have the slightest idea.
What is your date of birth?
December 4th, 1944.
December 4th, 1944. Have you been inoculated against smallpox, diphtheria?
May the Lord be praised.
So you see, we are stuck inside the cube. This is who rules this world. The cube is Saturn. It's blocking us from seeing God. The star behind it, projecting his love into this world until Jesus returns, until we can be unlocked from this prison. Satan rules this world, and this is how he does it, with the cube. A lot of people know what the cube is, but I'm explaining to you how it works. It's mathematical, and it's all revealed right here in plain sight. Fits in perfectly with this model. Now, as I've shown in previous videos, we live on the surface of the back of the lens of the eye, inside the inner eye. This is our universe. I've showed you how the stars align from the equator of this lens, which is right through here, and how when you're standing at the equator of Earth, you look up in the night sky, it looks exactly like the diagram I showed you, with the central stars projecting outward, and the northern hemisphere stars going clockwise, and the southern hemisphere stars going counterclockwise. And this is the reflection of the inside of a mirror globe, and that is exactly what it looks like. And that star vortex is the vortex that's coming down through the top, through heaven. There's only one way to the Father. Your eye is processed at the back of your brain. Now, what you're looking at is one of the most amazing truths that I think we've discovered here on Enter the Stars. You're not going to see this anywhere else. This is new truth. No one has put these numbers together like this because they didn't see the 3773 pattern. But as you can see, 3, 6, and 9 times 37 is 111, 222, and 333. And when you take 3 times 73, the opposite of 37, the 3 and the 6 and the 9 times 73, you get 219, which is the 1. 219 times 2 is 438, and 219 times 3 is 657. And I just showed you a mathematical equation of the boundaries of the inside of the mirror globe. The only way out is Jesus Christ.
Old times. Show us your ways. Old peaceful days, so that with your holy angel as a guide, they may safely reach their destiny.
The red blood of man and the green serpent, the false Christmas. This is what they want. They want us to accept the fallen ones in the state that they're in, the alien state. And this is the true nature of this film, the marriage of hell and humanity above and below the convex lens Earth. Here we see the two cities, the two skylines, hell below and Earth on top. Take care and be safe, you guys.